Today on Supernormalized, we have Adrienne Simmons. Adrienne transformed her life after facing severe fatigue in her early 50s. Adrienne had a bit of an empty nest syndrome by the sound of it, and her story is that as soon as she had more time on her hands, she went out partying, which I think is wild, but, good credit to her as well for even going there and experimenting with that and having a good time. But it went too far. She actually just started to eat too much processed food, stay up very late every night, party way too hard, like way too hard. And it took a big toll on her system and her body and put her in a place where she was right on the edge of becoming type 2 diabetic. She turned that around with wisdom, with research, and with understanding that our bodies are more than just something that we use. It's one of our best friends, and she teaches us how to understand that connection in this episode and also the importance of doing so. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. She's got so much vitality and energy. It's off the charts. You'll enjoy it immensely. So on with the show. Looking at the statistics that I have for YouTube and for my podcast apps, I have a lot of listeners and viewers that aren't yet liked and subscribed. So if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. It's free. And if you're on a podcast app, please give me 5 stars. That'd be really cool. It helps other people find these great conversations too. Thank you. Welcome to Supernormalized, Adrienne Simmons. Adrienne, tell us about your story. You went through like a slowing down of the body and the mind just from aging, and then you discovered a way to tap human vitality and energy again in your 50s. Tell us about that story, and can you share your journey leading up to your 50s and the challenges you faced with energy levels?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me as a guest. I really appreciate that. I always love an opportunity to kind of, share my story and let people know that, it's not over till it's over, and they can really rebuild their energy from a cellular level. So how my journey started was growing up. I had bountiful of energy. They used to call me the Energizer bunny. I don't know, I believe that you are on the other side of the world, but we had this commercial on TV and there was this little rabbit with the with the batteries in him. And so my friend who knew me well used to call me the Energizer bunny. From sunrise to sunset, I was good to go. I was just bouncing all over the place. I could eat what I want to eat. I could drink. I was smoking. I was out. No problem at all. I could still go to work. I had an abundance of energy, 20s, 30s, even up to my late 40s. Things changed when I crossed over my 50-year line. Why?
Oh, what happened?
Some major things happened in my life. I was a single mother with my daughter from the time that she was 3. She now leaves home and she goes to university. So I am now for the first time experiencing that empty nest syndrome. Now, because I was always occupied and involved with my daughter, I always had a reason to come home to take care of her. She's gone now. I'm coming home the first couple of weeks after she left for university, and I'm pacing around the house like a lion in a cage. Nothing to do, and I'm restless. Because I didn't know back then that to create my own activities to keep myself engaged. For me, it was only about my daughter. So she's gone now, and I have nothing to do. So what I did to kind of avoid not coming home into an empty home, I started staying out after work. Initially, it was just a restaurant. Maybe I'm home by 9. I got energy. I'm pacing around the home at 9 o'clock. I'm not ready to sleep. Okay, I learned after that, sometimes there are clubs open, even during the week. So I started discovering a couple of clubs. So I'd leave the restaurant and then I'd go to the club till maybe 11 or 12, and then I would come home. I'm good to go. I'm ready to sleep then. But what happens is when you're in certain environments, you get introduced to other activities. And I was soon after introduced to what they call after-hour clubs. And these are clubs that start at 1 in the morning and they go to 6 and 7 the next morning. They are illegal. They're underground. But when I found out about that, of course I said, let me try it. I got energy. 1 o'clock, let me try it. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that kind of underground kind of, nobody should know about it. But what came with
Yeah.
it was a lot of drinking and an introduction to party drugs. So I started indulging in a lot of illicit drugs as well too. So I'm going
Yeah, right.
all day. I'm going to a restaurant. I'm going to a club. I'm going to an after hours. CeeJay sometimes. I was lucky if I got 2 hours sleep because I was just going to avoid not being home in an empty home. And what comes with that is sooner or later, your body's gonna start breaking down because you're not giving your body what it needs to sustain itself. I wasn't getting adequate sleep. I was obviously only eating processed food because I'm not coming home to cook. I'm consuming a lot of alcohol. My body was not used to that. And I'm also indulging in drugs. So all of that mixture, you put it in a pot and you stir it up. And what comes up is a lot of weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, bags under my eyes, sluggishness. But that didn't stop me. I just continued going until I had a breakthrough. I went for my yearly checkup. Every year I always went for a checkup and I always got 2 thumbs up. I was maybe 45, maybe 50, I was maybe 54, 55 when I went for that yearly checkup. I don't know, maybe September, October that year. Now, my doctor, who had been my physician for many years and knew me quite well, as soon as I walked into his office, he goes, Adrienne, what's wrong? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you don't have that same pep in your step. You don't have that glow and that glisten in your face like you normally do. You look tired and fatigued. You look like you've aged since I saw you last year. So of course I was taken back. I said, well, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm telling you what I'm physically seeing. What's going on, Adrienne? Now, CeeJay, you know there is no way I'm going to tell my doctor. A couple of hours ago, I was in an underground club doing whatever. So of course we make up. Oh, it's work. I'm overloaded at work, a lot of projects happening. That's probably why I'm looking like I am right now. He goes, no, I don't think it's only work. I think there's something else going on, Adrienne. But whenever you're ready to talk about it, I'll be open. But right now, I'm letting you know I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. Let's do a couple of tests and see if there's anything else going on. I said, sure, no problem. Took my blood test, calls me a week later, and says, Adrienne, I want you to sit down because I have some news to share with you. Now, normally it's always great checkup, everything's fine, blood is fine, urine is fine. This time when he goes, have a seat, he's never said have a seat. And you know when they say have a seat, you know something is coming that is not necessarily what you want to hear. He goes, Adrienne, I'm going to get
exactly.
Your blood tests reveal you are pre-diabetic. You are so close to being diabetic. You are one step from being diabetic. That's how close your test results have revealed. I said,
wow, did that happen really fast or something? Or how many years of partying?
You know what? 5 years. Because remember, from 50 to about 55. So we're saying, and it was a gradual increase. Like the first year, it was just maybe restaurants. The second year, it's like, no, I got to find something else to do. So it was a gradual increase. The party drugs, I'm saying probably the latter 2 years. So when he told me that, CeeJay, the reason why it made me sit up and take notice of it is that my father died from his diabetes when he was in his mid-60s. So if I'm in my mid-50s now, all I'm thinking about is, you mean I could be dead in 10 years? I could be dead in 10 or 12 years? So that made me sit up and say, oh, well, I never okay. But that didn't stop me. You continue going. It's not, just because you get bad news doesn't mean that you're going to stop the behavior that you should do. So I continued with the same pattern. What finally made me come to enough is enough is enough is enough, the following January, so a couple of months later, because like I said, that checkup was maybe October, November. I will always remember this, CeeJay. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I remember that winter, it was a bitterly cold winter. It was so cold, it was maybe minus 30 degrees in Toronto. Now, I never smoked in my house. I was a still smoker, but I have a garage attached to my home. So I remember it took me like 10 minutes just to layer up, to go and sit in my garage and have a cigarette. And I remember clearly as if it was yesterday. I had my gloves off, because I can't burn my gloves, right? I have a cigarette here, I have a joint here, and I'm smoking, and I broke down. I don't know where it came from, but I just broke down crying. It was like it was building up inside of me, and just the frustration. Because CeeJay, this is how my life looked. Monday it was, you know what, Adrienne? No, you're gonna be good this week. You're gonna maybe go out for some more walks. You're gonna maybe eat a little bit more fruits and vegetables. You're gonna maybe have a little bit more water, and you're not going to the clubs. And you're going to try to cut down your smoking. You're going to try to cut down your marijuana. Monday it was okay. Tuesday it was okay. Wednesday. But you see, by Thursday, I couldn't hold back anymore. I'm back in the clubs. I'm back in the after hours. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it was a vicious cycle. Monday it would be, no, you're going to clean up this week. By Thursday, I'm back doing the same negative behaviors. So I'm sitting in the garage, I'm crying, and I said, you know what, God? I can't do it anymore. I can't do it on my own. I don't seem to be able to find a way on my own to get off this madness. This, like, you know, the wheel, you see the mouse on the wheel? For me, that's what it felt like. I was on a wheel that I couldn't find how to stop it. And I remember crying and crying until I was out of tears. Went back inside the house, but I noticed over the next couple of weeks, there was a shift. It was like a mindset shift. It was like, I will say up until today, CeeJay, that it was divine intervention, because all of a sudden I noticed I didn't have the same urge to get out into the nightclubs. I was more so curious about, well, let me do some research into how women's bodies change as we start to age, especially as we cross over that 50-year line. So I continued coming home and digging deeper and deeper, and this research revealed this, and this research took me here. In a nutshell, what I realized is, because we are organisms, and as such, we need to fuel our bodies with what our bodies were made for, and that is obviously fruits and vegetables. I like to say anything that comes from a root. If it comes from a root, our bodies were meant to absorb it. Our bodies, because we're made up of 70 to 80% of water, we're supposed to be drinking a whole lot of water to nourish our body and to clean out toxins as well too. I learned as well too, we need enough deep restorative sleep so that a lot of the cleanup can take place while we are resting. I realized sunshine. Okay, vitamin D, our bodies need the vitamins that we get from the sun. I realized as well too, the network of people that I was associating with in the club did not have my best interest. So it wasn't fueling my social connections. So once I did that research and I realized, okay, there are things that I can do in my control to improve my health. Let me see if it actually works. So I used myself as a beta test. I created a nutritional plan from the research that I had gathered. I joined a gym. I totally separated from that nightclub crowd, and I went online and I researched, and I found a group of women who were more into, and these are mature women who are into health and wellness and fitness and living a better life. So I started networking with this particular group. I started going out every morning in the sunshine just for a quick walk around my block as well too. I made an effort to get to bed earlier. And CeeJay, when I started my beta test, I gotta be honest, at my worst, out of 10 on an energy level, 10 being maximum energy and 1 being I can barely crawl out of bed, most days, CeeJay, I was a 2 to 3 out of 10. I don't know how I get fired at work. I don't know how people at work didn't realize that, because my production levels dropped drastically. I showed up every day, but my production but it is what it is. Over the 12-month period, I started to notice my energy levels increasing. And as I felt the energy, I liked how it felt, and I continued. And I continued. And as I continued, people started to notice, Adrienne, wow, you seem to have a lot of energy. I'm noticing a shine back in your face. I'm noticing that you're walking with more of a pep, and you seem to be happier, and you just seem to be more alert and engaged. What are you doing? I said, well, you know what? I'm eating a little bit more fruits and vegetables. I'm drinking some more water. I'm getting to bed a little bit earlier. I joined the gym. I'm outside in the sun. I'm hanging out with some women that are empowering me and inspiring me. I do believe all of that is what is kind of aiding in my increased energy levels. CeeJay, at the end of 12 months, at the end of that year, CeeJay, my energy level was back up to my Energizer bunny level, to an 8, to a 9, to a 10. And years later, CeeJay, every day, CeeJay, I am energized, wake up energized, and I have energy from sunrise until I hit the sack at sunset. And that's my
beautiful
I like to call it lost and found.
I love that. And obviously after that you've gone back to the doctor and
oh yes,
and he's done your bloods and he's like, what happened here?
Absolutely. He was so surprised because what I did is I jogged into the office the year later. He goes, wow, Adrienne, you're back. He goes, what have you been doing? And obviously, I still didn't tell him what I was doing. I said, but this year, what I decided to do was to kind of do a recalibration of my overall health. I did some research, Doc, and I realized that I do have the choice to make when it comes to building a healthy energy body or not. It's all my decision and my choice, and I chose to go in that direction. Now, my why, if you ask my why, because people always say, well, you know, sometimes you got to have those bad days where you want to fall back to what you're used to. Absolutely. The first couple of months, it was challenging. I got to be honest, though. I mean, you want that cigarette and you want the drink and it was challenging. But when I started my journey, part of my research, a lot of it was around the mindset. You know, until you get your mind in tune with what you want, it's easy to fall back. So for me, my number one why was my daughter. She was coming home from university soon. CeeJay, there's absolutely no way I would want my daughter to come home and see me in that particular condition. I'm the kind of person that, you know, sometimes you'll hear people say, well, who are your role models? And it always pleased me when people would say, well, my mom or my dad. And for me, I would want to know if my daughter was ever asked that question, I would want my daughter to proudly say, my mom was one of my foundational role models. So number one, that was my why. I want my daughter to always be proud of me and to be able to say, Mom, you know what? You were one of my role models. Number two, what if my daughter ever got married, CeeJay? I want to be there to see her get married. What if she ever had children? I want to be there to see my grandchildren. And number three, I don't know if you remember an actress. She was an American actress. Her name was Betty White. She used to be on the show called The Golden Girls. Do you remember Betty White?
Yeah.
Okay. Betty White died at 99. Up until 99,
wow.
She was still acting. She was still co-producing. She was still active. And for me, it was, you know what? She's 99 and look at her. I wanted to be just like Betty White. So for me, it's like, you know what? Even though she's passed now, it's like, you know what? I don't want to disappoint Betty White. I want to be 99 and I want to be as active as I am today. I want to travel.
Awesome.
I want to dance. I want to play with my grandchildren. I want to run. I want to do races. I want to be as physically fit as I can at 99. And that means I need to ensure that every day I am building a healthy energy body so that at 99, my body is still holding me up.
Yeah. But to take the body there, it actually takes a shift in mindset. And did you actually have any specific mindset shifts that you implemented to make the most significant impact on your vitality?
Yes. What I came to realize is our bodies, CeeJay, have been there for us from the time we were born. Our bodies have held us up from the time we were born. No matter how we abuse our bodies do their best to hold us up. So what I learned through my research was I need to understand in my mind how much my body has done for me. Through all the abuse that I put her through, she still held me up. For me, the shift was I need to start acknowledging, respecting my body every single day. And I need to say thank you every day for how she holds me up. So for me, that was the biggest mindset shift. And this is what I also instruct my clients with. Start to build a closer relationship with your body in the sense of you need to show your body respect. When we have a cold, when we're sick, anything we go through, CeeJay, our bodies hold us up. If we continue to overburden our body with processed food, with lack of sleep, with stress, with negative social connections, sooner or later, our bodies, as much as they want to hold us up, CeeJay, they get overburdened. Our bodies, and don't even start talking about the toxins. Don't even start talking about the toxins outside. Our bodies have so much to deal with, and yet still, they do their best to hold us up. How can we not acknowledge, honor, and start showing our bodies respect and saying thank you every day? Thank you so much for carrying me through today. What can I do to show you my gratitude? And for me, it's, you want vegetables and fruits? You got it. You want more water? You got it. You want better sleep? You got it. You want more sunshine? You got it. You want to go outside and let's spend time touching the earth? You got it. I realize you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
Yeah, it's very important to recognize that, because I mean, a lot of us take our bodies for granted until there's something wrong, really, and that's the problem, right? Our society doesn't recognize that we're spiritual beings in a vessel, which is our body, which has been given to us by the Creator.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
And that being itself, that body itself, it needs to be respected, and also be nurtured and looked after. It's like your best friend. So treat it like your best friend.
Thank you. Thank you, CeeJay. That's what I came to realize with that shift in my mind. It's like, Adrienne, my body. So it's my physical body, my emotional body, my mental channels, and my spiritual. It's my best friend. She's got my back every day. So why would I continue to disrespect her? I disrespected her for years. In my 20s, my 30s, and 40s. Like I said, in junk food. I love McDonald's and ice cream and chocolate bars and chips, whatever. For years, we abuse our bodies. And then we wonder when we get ill and sick, what's going on? What's going on? What happened? What happened? What happened? What's been going on for the last few years? It's a lot. I could go on and on.
It's cumulative, but you don't recognize it when you're in it. You're like, oh no, that's good. That's a good snack.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. How did reclaiming your energy affect your personal and professional life? I mean, you gave us some part of a description there with, things going good with your doctor, but what happened at work? I mean, did people start recognizing that too and saying, well, production's come right up again?
Yeah, absolutely. As my energy levels started to increase and my vitality with it, I started to want to put more effort into my daily tasks. I was more engaged. I spoke up more in team meetings. I took more of a lead because I felt energized, and I felt I had the capacity, I had the brain capacity that I wanted to do more. I knew I was capable of doing more, and I wanted to be there 100% to support my team. So as I started to build that vitality, it was an automatic next step to, I can do this. Where do you need me? What's next? What else can I contribute? So basically it was my physical body and my mind as well too, that brain fog. It's like the fog just kind of just disappeared. It dissipated from my mind. I was now every day moving forward with a clear mind. I was more creative. I was more innovative because I didn't have that burden of all the garbage that I had been putting inside of my system. So number one, and of course my colleague said, Adrienne, you know what? You just seem to be more involved. Thank you, we appreciate it. Of course my manager noticed it as well too, and they all wondered, well, what happened? And I'm not going to tell them what happened. It was like, you know what? Family issues. You got to lie and say something. Oh, I was dealing with family issues and it had me down, but don't worry about it. It's all cleared up now and I'm back now. So I noticed the difference with that. Spending time with my daughter too, I was more engaged, and my daughter is very athletic and very sports. So she does a lot of outdoor activities, and it's like, I want to come with you now. Can I join you? Can I come on that race with you? Can I join you? Can I come? She goes, really, Mom? Really? You weren't like that before. I said, you know what? But you see, I'm getting stronger and I'm doing the right things right now. So I want to spend more quality time with you. Even with my friends as well too. It was like, you know what? You just seem to have a pep in your step, Adrienne. We love your energy. And oh, CeeJay, I forgot to tell you, people started complimenting me all the time, all the time. Even virtually, people would say, oh my God, Adrienne, I can feel your energy through the screen. And it's like, it's really working. It really works. It really works. Yeah. If I give my body what she needs as opposed to what Adrienne wants, because we go through life with giving ourselves what we want. You know what? I had a hard day today. I'm gonna just call Uber. I'm going to go buy McDonald's. I'm going to just order something in. That's what we want, but it's not what our bodies need. So I've realized my first decision has to be, what does my body need? When I'm looking at a pizza and I'm looking at a salad, I'm not going to lie, CeeJay, absolutely I want that pizza. I'm not going to lie to you. I will always want a pizza. I will always love ice cream. I will always love cheesecake. I will always love blueberry pie. But I do it in moderation. I tell my clients, absolutely. No one says you never have to have your favorite processed food anymore, but do it in moderation. Because if you spend more of your time fueling your body with what she or he needs, the times that you do indulge in that processed food, you've built up such a strong immune system, your immune system is able to handle that ice cream once in a while, the burger and fries once in a while, the pizza once in a while. It's when that once in a while becomes on the regular, and the salad and the fruits and the grains and the nuts and the seeds take a back seat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The patterns are either good for us or not good for us, and it's good to recognize that.
Exactly.
So this has motivated you to create the EnergyEdge Unlock Your Energy Potential coaching program. Who was that designed for?
You know, initially when I created the program, I work full-time and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I realized that working full-time and then coming home, a lot of people still have to take care of their families before they can now start on their own business affairs. They are from morning and they're still working right up until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So initially it was for corporate professionals also building a business at the same time. Individuals going from morning till night. But then I realized, hold on a second though. There's a lot of people, they might not be entrepreneurs. What about caregivers, people who are home caring for elderly parents? What about stay-at-home mothers who are home taking care of their kids in the morning, do what they have to do, get the kids to school, then they have to get to work themselves, then they've got to come home, then they've got to pick up the kids, then they have to make dinner, then they have to spend quality time, then they have to do the homework. There are a lot of people out there who are just kind of living life with the chronic fatigue. They're tired, they're exhausted, but they have responsibilities and they have to keep on moving forward, but they continue to feel tired and they feel that they're not contributing, they feel they're not doing their best, they're not showing up, they're not as engaged as they want to be. They're basically kind of just moving forward on default. I have to get up, I have to take care of the kids, I got to get the kids to school. They just kind of move forward on an even level. They're not excelling in life. But a lot of people like I did, we just accept it. I forgot to mention something, CeeJay. A myth that I have now dispelled that most people still believe is, well, you know what? You're in your 50s now, you're in your 60s. You should be tired more often. You should be feeling more aches and pains. You should just be tired. And it's like, this is what I heard as well too. You know, when you're younger, you hear your parents in the background. Oh, so-and-so is 50 now. Look at her, she's slowing down, you know. But she's 50. She should be slowing down. I've realized now, hold on a second, not at all. Look at Miss Betty White, she was 99. There are so many people out there who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Look at the people in the blue zones. I know you've heard about the blue zones. If you take care of your body, you've got energy. Your body will reward you with energy and vitality. That is a misconception. So for me, I am all about debunking that myth that, you know what, when you're in your 50s, you're automatically going to start coming down. Now, most people do because we have been abusing our bodies from our teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. A lot of people don't realize that with some small changes, you can start to increase your overall energy levels. A lot of people don't know that, so they continue with the processed food. They continue with They're up late at night, they're stressed, they're worried, they're overworked, they're overwhelmed, and all of that cascades down to, unfortunately, zapping your beautiful body's precious energy. And as a result, you're fatigued, you're tired, you're lethargic, you're overwhelmed, you're brain fogged. Your body can only take so much. And it's going to manifest in these particular symptoms that I'm talking about. The brain fog, the fatigue, the overwhelmness.
So do you think chronic fatigue has been normalised in our society today, especially as we age? I mean, you spoke to that there, but do you think that's what people believe should be the normal way?
Yeah, because that's what I did. Like I said, when my doctor said, what's wrong with you? I said, Doc, what do you mean? I'm in my 50s right now. I should be gaining weight. I should be more tired. I should be bags under my eyes. That's what I heard my parents say. That's what you hear out there. That is the common language out there. And for me and others in the health and wellness field, like you as well too, I know we're out there trying to get the message. You know what? That may be what you've always believed, but there's a new way of thinking. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. It does not have to be that way if you take charge of your life. It's a matter of taking responsibility and making the choice that what is the quality of life that you want, CeeJay? People do not ask themselves that question. They just kind of roll along with life. Life happens to them. They don't take charge of life. Life takes charge of them. And it just becomes their norm. It just becomes the norm. It's just easier to just kind of go along with the waves as opposed to, okay, well, that means I have to buy, that means I'm going to have to start cooking and I'm going to have to start going out and go for a walk at lunchtime. And I'm going to have to, for people, it's the effort. And I really believe that a lot of people just don't want to make that effort. We just get into a place where, it's just, let me go to work and let me come home and let me crash on the sofa. Go to work, come home and crash on the sofa. 2 weeks a year, I'll go on vacation. Otherwise, go to work, come home and crash on the sofa. The weekend, crash on the sofa. Let me just pick up the phone and let me just order some food in. We spend so much time indoors. We spend so much time on our screens. We spend so much time in solitary confinement. We don't realize it's doing so much harm to our bodies because it's counterintuitive to who we are as biological organisms. We need to be outside. We need fresh air. We need to stand and touch the earth. We need to hug a tree. We need to eat food that comes from a root. We need to drink water. Let's say sugary drinks, processed foods, greasy foods. Sometimes I want to be able to, the reason why I believe that more people aren't alert and aware and ready to do something about it is that we can't see what's going on inside of us. So we don't know that every day the damage that we're doing to our cells and tissues because we can't see it. And we only realize it when we get that wake-up call when all of a sudden, I got this pain in my knee and it's not going away. I got this pain in my neck, the headache, the tiredness, my backache. It's only when our bodies finally communicate with us through a pain point but even so, does that change a lot of us, CeeJay? Not at all. We go around with the pain. We go around with the pain.
Yeah.
You know what? This is normal. I'm in my 60s. I should be feeling pain. Let me take a pill. Let me take a pill for a quick, it's a mad, vicious cycle. And I know that cycle because I was on that cycle. It's madness. It's madness.
Yeah, it is total madness. I've got a friend that's stuck in a chronic fatigue thing. He's tried everything he can think of, but lives inside the cave, doesn't like going outside much. Won't eat healthy. I mean, he's just not listening to anything, and I just hope he can figure that out sooner or later, because he's not a happy man. Okay, can we discuss the importance of accountability and support in making these lifestyle changes?
When you talk about accountability, to me it goes back to what I said about giving our bodies the utmost respect. We need to be accountable for our own health. If we care at all about what the remainder of our life is going to look like, we can't do anything about our life yesterday and past, but we can do everything about today and beyond. So, CeeJay, it starts with, do you care about the longevity of your life? And what is the quality of the longevity? What do you want your health span to look like? And it is only a choice that you can make. I can talk to you until the cows come home. I can tell you all of the solutions and all the benefits, and I can tell you about all the bad things that may happen to you if you continue on this particular path. But until you decide, you need to be accountable for you. So you need to make that decision for you. You're right. Do I want to continue the way I am? It's easy, it's comfortable, and it's no effort for me at all. It's no effort at all. Or do I want to maybe try a couple of new things that is being recommended by the health and wellness industry and see if it improves the quality of my life? Let me see if I start going for a walk every day. Does that maybe give me a little bit more energy? Let me see if I have an apple instead of a donut. Let me see if that gives me a little bit more energy. Let me see if I can figure out how to manage my stress and bring my stress down when I realize that I'm holding on to something. Is that going to improve a little bit of my energy? Is that going to clear that fog inside of me? If I can find ways to mitigate the negative feelings that I'm holding on to. So for me, the accountability has to come from the individual, but it has to start with them caring enough about their life today and beyond, caring enough about their family. What is the quality of life that you want to spend with your family? I know, for example, my daughter has a son now, so I have a grandson. I want to know that if he ever says, Grandma, can you be a coach of my baseball team? I want to be able to say, yes, CeeJay. That is the quality of life that I want, so that's the accountability that I'm willing to make. I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines. Too many times, CeeJay, you see grandparents, and now you're even seeing adults. They're just sitting on the sideline. Because you know what, CeeJay? They ain't got no energy. They ain't got no energy whatsoever. I want to be an active participant. I don't want to be sitting on the sideline and watching everybody else have a good time, CeeJay. So the accountability is, what do you want for your life? Are you willing to be accountable for enjoying a better quality of life for as long as it might lead? You don't know how long you're going to live. How many times do you hear, there was an accident on a highway and so many people died? Someone walked across the street and unfortunately, how do you know, CeeJay? So we don't know if we have a day left, a week, a month, 10 years. So because you don't know how long you have, wouldn't you like to know that for the life you have left, you're living it a little bit better today than you did yesterday? A little bit more vitality, a little bit more energy, and it's not costing you that much. Our bodies do not ask us for that much, CeeJay. They ask us for some healthy food. Adrienne, just give me some vegetables. Can I just have a little bit more fruits? Adrienne, can we just have a little bit more water? Can we go outside for a walk, Adrienne? Can we get some sunshine, Adrienne? And if you do that for me, Adrienne, you know how I'm going to reward you? I'm going to give you a whole lot of energy, Adrienne, because you're feeding me with what I need. So I want to reward you now, Adrienne. So for me, it's the little things that our bodies ask us. It rewards us tenfold, 100-fold with vitality and energy and clarity and creativity and innovation. We are alive. We are alert for the small things that our bodies asked us for. That's the accountability that we have to take into our lives.
So with the coaching program, EnergyEdge, Unlock Energy Potential, do you have any success stories that you could share and also anonymize those people?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my goodness, absolutely. The people that I've worked with are corporate professionals, because that's who I connect with throughout my networking. And I have one lady, Sonia, that I was working with. Just lack of energy, was responsible at work, had a team to oversee. Remembered when she first started with the company, she was excited and full of energy and, but she'd been with the company for a while. And over the years, as her role kind of increased and the responsibility was added on to her, she started spending less time paying attention to taking care of herself and more time, I've got to keep up. I have more piled on to my plate. So that included working later And so that included, it's easier to just order something in because by the time I get home at 9 o'clock at night, I don't want to cook. And so she was spending more time inside in the office, eating processed food, not getting as much sleep because she admitted, you know what, I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking, oh, did I finish that project? Wait a second, did I send that to that person? So she's not getting the proper sleep because her mind is still, that monkey brain is still kind of going. And then she unfortunately never had a network of friends that were there to inspire her and empower her. The people around her, unfortunately, they were drawing her down and, why are you doing this? And, you know, you're working too hard and it's not worth the money and why don't you quit your job? So it was all negativity. Working with me over the 12-week, it was just step by step by step. It's like, okay, you know what? You have this responsibility. You will always have this responsibility. Can we maybe have a talk with your manager? Maybe you can start working from home. So you're home as opposed to being in the office, because she was an hour and a half drive. So leaving the office at 9 and then not getting home till 10:30. So she was able to make an arrangement, obviously with her uppers, that she was able to now work from home 3 days a week. That relieved some of that stress, that stress that she was undergoing. She started to, okay, let me start looking at some of the fruits I used to always enjoy when I was younger. So I said, just start off with some of the fruits and vegetables that you enjoyed when you were younger. So she started kind of adding that into her meal plan. She started making an effort to get outside in the morning, especially the mornings when she worked from home. She would go outside and she would go for a walk for about half an hour and she'd get that sun in her, and that would alert her melatonin to be alert and to be awake. So she had more energy when she was able to kind of get back. And as she started feeling her energy levels increase, she started feeling better about herself. She started increasing. When she worked from home, she would go out at lunchtime and she'd go for a second walk. She started eating more healthier because, again, you realize when things are working and you're noticing an improvement, well, let me keep on going. Let me keep on going because I like how I'm feeling and I'm realizing I am showing up. And people started, of course, complimenting her as well, too. How can people not start acknowledging when they're noticing, you know what, you seem to be happier. You look better. Good for you. You know what? Can you tell me what's going on? So she's just one of a few stories that I have.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So, Adrienne, have you ever run into people from the club since, and have they looked at you and, what the?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
No, different circle altogether?
Not at all. Because, again, they were basically when the sun went down. So when the sun goes down, I'm in my bed at 10 o'clock. So I'm sound asleep when the sun goes down. So no, I mean, never. I mean, maybe one or two over the years, I might have seen them when I was downtown shopping. And it was like, oh, we don't see what happened. And it's like, you know what? I made a whole pivot in my life, and I'm all about health and wellness and vitality. And of course, it's like, you know, good for you. And can you give me some tips? Can you give me some tips? Because you look fantastic, Adrienne. And so for me, it's always absolutely I can share tips. And the tips are so easy, CeeJay. It's not brain science. It's so simple, but it's difficult for an individual to implement it into their life until they're ready.
Yeah, exactly. So, Adrienne, we've come towards the end of the podcast. How can people find you?
Already?
And your course. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh.
You're such a great talker.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, for sure. I've loved everything you've shared. It's been amazing that how you've actually processed the information over time, obviously, and you've built a greater understanding of yourself and your body and how important that is. And I really appreciate that. I know all the listeners will too. So how can people find you in case they want to take up your coaching course? And do you work with people across the world too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely. They can find me at energyforlife.energy. Energy for FOR life.energy.
Yeah, great. Oh, well, I'll include that in the show notes down the bottom as well, so it makes it easy for people to find. And I thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your wisdom. I've appreciated your time and your high energy. It's so vibrant.
Thanks so much. Namaste.
Namaste. All right, I'm just going to say goodbye to listeners. Well, that was an awesome episode with Adrienne. You can just tell by, the way she comes across, the amount of energy she has, that she is really totally into her understanding and processing of the information that she has towards building a better body, more vitality, more mental health, everything. She changed her mindset completely, flipped it all the way around, and brought herself back to complete health, as attested to by her doctor and her friends and her work colleagues. So all credit to her. If you've enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe. That'd be really cool. And yes, if you're on a podcast app, hit that 5-star button, write some nice words, and if you've enjoyed today's show, please reach out to Adrienne and say so. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. Until next episode, it's bye for now.